Welcome you again to Pillar TV. This is Health Check program where we care about your health. And today I'm again joined by Margaret, who I said last time is a former teacher. She's also a psychologist, and she's also a nutritionist. My name is Pastor Abraham Gige, and I really welcome you again to this program. I believe you're going to be blessed. I welcome you again to the program.
Thank you.
Last time, I remember you took us through some 8 laws that governs our health.
Yes.
And I remember we talked about 7 of them.
Yes.
And then we left the 8th one hanging.
Yeah.
You touched it a little bit, but you said when you come back, we'll continue with that.
Yes.
So welcome again. How have you been? And how is your family? How is everything?
Okay, thank you, Pastor. I want to appreciate God for this opportunity that we may be able to enlighten people as matters pertaining to our health.
Yes.
Because God's desire is that we have good health. My family is fine.
Yes.
My week has been good. And I've seen God working miracles in my life and in other people's, as I continue touching other people's lives. So now, we talked about the 8 laws that govern this body.
Yeah.
And we mentioned them. We had the law of trusting God, the law of daily exercise. We talked about air, we talked about lust, we talked about temperance, we talked about water. And today we are going to summarize on the law on nutrition. Yeah. Because this is where most of the challenges are coming from. And so we say, you are what you eat.
You are what you eat.
Yes.
Yes.
Because the food you eat makes your blood. And so, if you go to hospital, if you want to be tested for any disease, they draw your blood. Why? Because in the blood, that is where life is.
Yes.
So you are what you eat.
What you eat, yeah.
If you look at that guy there, the way he is what he has eaten.
I can see the guy holding something that looks like what?
A hamburger.
A hamburger.
Yeah.
And it's like it's his usual diet. He looks big. He looks almost, I don't know, his eyes are popped up. I don't know what this means.
This is what you eat makes you. Okay. So when God designed this machine, he knew the right fuel to run this machine. A manufacturer who makes a petrol car engine, he knows that car must use petrol. If by mistake diesel is put in that car, it will not work. It will not move.
It was designed to use petrol.
It was designed to use petrol. So this machine, this body, God the maker designed the right fuel for it. And so what did he give? In Genesis 1:29.
Yeah.
That is where we find the original diet, man's original diet. What is it composed of? Grains. He says, Genesis 1:29, I've given you all the herb-bearing seeds and all the fruits that have seeds in them. When you eat a seedless orange, that is not according to God's plan. Because it has taken man to make that one. But God's original diet are fruits with seeds in them and the seed-bearing plants. Where do we get example of this seed-bearing plants? In Ezekiel 4, chapter 9, he gives us the grains. Okay?
What does it say?
It says, take wheat, take barley, take beans, take lentils, take millet, make food from that. And that food should be eaten from time to time. Okay? So, man's original diet. Where else can we find it? In the most holy place in the sanctuary. I showed you the picture of the sanctuary last time.
Yeah, I remember, if I can remember very well, something about the sanctuary.
Yes.
I remember there was an
outer court.
An outer court. There was the holy place.
The holy place.
Then there was the Holy of Holies.
Yes, the most holy place.
Yes.
That one you find in Hebrews chapter 9 and verse 4. It says, in the most holy place was the covenant box.
Yeah.
Inside that covenant box was a pot of manna. And we say the manna was wheat or corn. Okay? Then inside there was Aaron's rod.
Yeah.
Then Aaron's rod was blossoming.
Yeah.
So what was it producing? If you go to number 17 and verse 8, it tells you it blossomed, it bore fruits. The name of the fruits were almonds.
Almonds.
Yes. By the end of the show, I'll show you the almonds and what they are used for. So inside there, we still find diet. And what else was there? The Ten
Commandments.
So if you obey God's commandment, he has given you a diet to accompany you. So that the 10 Commandments are to help you grow spiritually, and the diet is to make you physically fit.
Stronger, okay.
Okay? So that was God's original diet.
Wow,
now,
wow.
this diet was given before sin. When sin came, God realized now this man is in trouble. He's going to get sick. And so he gave another diet, which was now to, when he gets sick, he was going to make use of it. Genesis 3,
Yeah.
verse 18.
It said, then to Adam he said, because you have hated the voice of your wife, and have eaten from the tree of which I commanded you, saying, you shall not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for your sake. In toil you shall eat of it all the days of your life. Both thorns and thistles it shall bring forth for you, and you shall eat the herbs, that is green plant of the field. That is Genesis chapter 3, verse 17 to 18.
Yes. He said, you shall eat the herbs from the field. Which are these herbs from the field? Psalms 104 and verse 14. He says, he makes the grass to grow for the cattle and the herbs for the service of man. The way you take your car for service, your body is serviced by this.
Yeah.
So every day you should not miss a portion of green herbs in your plate of food. These are, he says, he grows them from the soil. When the rain rains, every farm has these vegetables.
Definitely they sprout out very
They
easily,
sprout.
very fast.
The original vegetables, they're the ones that do service in our bodies. This was the second diet.
Yeah.
Then sin continued. God said he was going to destroy the whole world with water. He said the spirit cannot continue striving with the man anymore. But he found one man who was faithful.
I remember.
His
it's
name was Noah. He was told to build an ark. Noah built an ark. After the ark, people refused to get in. So in Genesis 7, Noah was told, take 7 clean animals and 2 unclean animals. 7 clean animals. 2 unclean animals. So in Genesis 9, verse 1 to 4, we find the third diet. Third diet is meat. When Noah came from the ark, he was told, this shall be your food. But God gave them a condition for eating meat. He said, you shall not eat bread with the meat. He told them, just as I gave you the green herbs of the field, now I've given this one for you to eat. Verse 3 and 4. But verse 4 says, you shall not eat bread. So they used to clean this meat clean, so that when they used it, it did not have that taste of meat. This diet was not going to be permanent diet. It was going to be temporary. And by the way, if you look at the anatomy of your teeth, Pastor, your teeth are not meant for meat eating. And when you eat meat, it takes 3 days for it to come out from your body. Because your digestive system does not have the mechanism for digesting meat. So meat rots in the body. Ask any doctor. They will tell you, meat is never digested. It rots. And as it continues rotting, it requires a lot of hydrochloric acid. Okay? If you eat meat today, you go to the toilet after 3 days from today. Okay? So now this diet brought some 2 things. In the book called Counsels on Diet and Food, page 373, it says, God gave this diet to shorten.
Let me read it. The result of this diet. After the flood, the people ate largely of animal food, and he permitted that long-lived race to eat animal food to shorten their sinful lives. Soon after the flood, the race began to rapidly decrease in size and in length of years.
Yes. People started decreasing in height, as you can see there.
Well, I can see, it seems the original one was very tall.
Very tall, yes. Okay? The shortness that we have was a result of this eating fresh meat. Okay? Something else also happened. The number of years.
Yeah.
If you look at this chart, the green part shows the number of years people used to live before the flood. 969. But after the flood, you can see the orange color. it has really decreased. Today, we have moved from 70 years. The mortality rate today is 45 years. Actually, Abraham's grandpa lived 140 years, from 969 to 45. This was as a result of meat eating. And when the children of Israel cried for meat in Psalm 78, verse 20, from verse 25 to 31, God gave them meat and he killed them. And do you know where he buried them? Numbers 11, verse 33 and 34 will tell you that after they ate meat, he brought pestilence and he killed them and buried them at a place called Kibroth-Hattaavah. That is where he buried all those who lasted for meat. So meat was, God gave people to eat meat, but he gave a condition for that meat to be eaten.
So the major problem with meat was taking blood with it?
Maybe if we have time, we'll look at that.
Okay. It's all right. It's all
The
right.
fourth diet, fourth diet, we find it, man's fourth diet, we find it in
I've heard the murmuring of the children of Israel speak to them, saying, at twilight you shall eat meat, and in the morning you shall be filled with bread. So it was the quails came up at evening and covered the camp, and in the morning the dew lay all around the camp. There on the surface of the wilderness was a small round substance as fine as frost on the ground. And Moses said to them, this is the bread which the Lord has given you to eat 6 days per week from now on. Exodus 16, verse 12 to 15, verses 4 and 5. Psalm 78, verse 23, 24 to 31, and Numbers 11, verse 3, buried at Kibroth-Hattaavah.
yes.
Listener, briefly, it's very important that all these verses that she's trying to quote is good if you can put them down, because for your own personal use and for your own personal tips, you should write them down so that during your own free time you can go through them. Okay.
So fourth diet was grain. Psalm 78, 23 and 24. Okay. And now we have God's man's final diet. The final diet is, we find it in Revelation 22, verse 1 and 2.
And he showed me a pure river of water of life, clear as crystal, proceeding out of the throne of God and of the Lamb. In the midst of the street of it, and on either side of the river was there the tree of life, which bare 12 manner of fruits, and yielded her fruit every month. And the leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nations.
Yes. So in heaven, we are going to eat fruits. We are going to have our vegetables. So we must practice this here. And it says the leaves will be for the healing of the nations.
Yes.
What will the nations be healed from? And yet there will be no sickness in heaven. The shortness. As we continue eating from the tree of life, we will be growing taller and taller until all men will reach the height of Adam, all women will reach the height of Eve, and God's creation will be back to its original state, the way it was designed.
Thank you so much.
And finally, we have animals, the animal diet, which is in Isaiah 66, 65 and verse 25. The animals will be eating, like the lion will be eating straw, like an ox. Okay? So those are the 5 diets in the Bible. If we follow them strictly, surely our health will be as God decided to be.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking us through all these 5 very important diets. Listener, just as I said, is important. If you can note this point and these Bible verses so that they can help you. We are going to be shortly out for a commercial break, but when we come back, she will still take us through some of the demonstration. She has carried along with her some foods, and we're going to see them practically, and she's going to explain to us the meaning of all this. God bless you as we continue. Welcome you back to Health Check program. I say again, I'm Pastor Abraham Gige. I'm the host of this program. We've been talking about nutrition, and I'm not alone. Again, I'm joined by Margaret, and who is taking us through the subject of the nutrition. And we have gone through 5 very important diets, and she's given us the demonstrations. And right now she has come with some food stuff here, and she's going to tell us what, in relation to what she taught us, or what she told us, what these diets are going to do in our, in our body. I welcome you to take us through the stuff that you've carried.
Thank you so much, Pastor. Now, if you look at this guy,
Yes.
he has 2 doctors surrounding him. One is taking his temperature, his blood pressure. He's looking at his ears. This guy is very sick. And the question is, does what you eat affect your life? And sure it does.
Yes.
And as I had said originally, God had very good plan for man. But when sin came, it distorted God's plan for man. Now, I just want to show you some of the foods that God created to be of great help to man. Here, I have a tomato. If you look at this tomato, it has a shape of a heart. If you cut this tomato across, this tomato has 4 chambers, just like the heart. And so it's very good for your heart. This is God's design. Even the shape, he designed it. He has designed some foods with to be of benefit to particular organs in our body. Here, we have a carrot. This carrot, if you cut it loud, you'll find it has the shape of your eye. And when you go to hospital with the eye problem, the doctor will tell you, go eat carrots. Viewer, take a carrot in the house, just cut it loud, and look at the shape inside there. It has a pupil. It has the shape of your eye.
It is something we should all try when we go home.
This vegetable here, we call it celery. It has a shape of your bones. By the way, it has 23% sodium, the exact sodium that your body requires. Those people who are having problems with calcium, make proper use of these juices, celery. It will replace the calcium that you require in your body.
Bones,
Yes. I talked about
almonds.
Almonds.
You talked about almonds, and you said they were found in the Ark of Covenant.
In the Ark of, in the most holy place, in Aaron's Lord. These are the almonds. These ones, they are very good for milk. Those people who are suffering from blood pressure and diabetes, they have magnesium, they have potassium. And most of the illnesses that we have is deficiency of magnesium. So these ones, you can eat them as nuts. I said they are in Numbers 17 and verse 8, from verse 8. They are good for as nuts and also milk. Okay? So these are some of the things. And imagine they were growing inside the Ark of the Covenant, and there was no soil in it. Okay? Here we have other seeds.
What are these?
We call this apricot. These apricots, they contain vitamin B17. For cancer prevention, these are the best nuts that you can use. Okay? And we also have nuts like walnuts. They actually have the shape of the brain. And they are very good to boost your mood, to help you relax, particularly those people who are going through depression. They are very, very good. Then we have another fruit called an avocado. You know, I did not bring an avocado here.
But everybody knows
an
avocado is.
Take an avocado, just cut it. It will give you the shape of the oob and the cervix. And by the way, it takes 9 months to mature. The same month that it takes for a baby to mature in our oob. And if for all ladies, this is for all ladies. Make sure you eat one avocado every week. What is the purpose for it? It helps in hormonal imbalance. We have so many people that are having the challenge of hormonal imbalance, and it also helps to shed off the bad weight. So some of the fruits, most of the fruits, look at the kidney. We have a kidney bean. It has the shape of the kidney. Those with the kidney problems, make use of that bean. And by the way, I discovered it's very, very expensive. So the food that God created for this body, he knew the exact work that it was going to do to this body. Now, finally, I would want to talk about nutrition and the way the diseases are affecting people as a result of this. In March 2017, World Health Organization gave a report. And they said, can you read the topic in that paper?
Antibiotic could spell end of mankind.
Antibiotics could spell end of mankind. What date was that?
You can see it was February 21st, 2017. It was Tuesday.
February 21st, 2017. They said, if you look down here, they have given antibiotics. They say these antibiotics are being put in animal feeds. They have drawn a cow there. There is a fish, there are chicken. When these animals feed from these animal feeds, they create an irreversible bacteria. Down there, can you see that animal has been slaughtered? Can you see a plate of meat with a fork and knife? Then pastor sits down, enjoys that meal. So what do they say? Once this bacteria gets into you, they say this is going to kill people faster than cancer. If people have been scared about cancer, there's a bigger problem now that is coming up greater than cancer. This is a report from World Health Organization. And they say by 2050, we are going to have 10 million deaths per year. And the entire world is going to spend $100 trillion fighting this disease. And it's not going to work. And they say this problem is going to lead over 28 million people into deeper poverty. Okay? So you see, it's
so
all about...
It's the bacteria that's going to evolve just because of antibiotics in the animals.
Yes. So they have given a full report. If you look for that newspaper, I cannot give the entire information, but even the figures are here. You read it for yourself and you see why nutrition is very, very important. 2 weeks ago, Pastor, we had Governor's Council and they were deliberating on cancer. And they even gave reasons as to why we need to be very cautious. And they said one of the reasons why people are dying of cancer is because of lack of awareness. From their report I was reading in the newspaper, they said 27,000 Kenyans are dying every year as a result of cancer. And that 9,000 new cases are being registered. 39,000 cases. And so they were concerned as they were talking about devolving and having the governor's office taking over management of cancer in their localities. And this awareness is what we need to bring to people's attention. Why is cancer becoming such a big issue? It all goes back to what we are eating. You know, this machine has 5 elimination organs. When these organs are clogged with the toxins from what we have been feeding this body with, I call it the diesel. When we put a lot of diesel in this body, the 5 elimination organs become clogged. So the body becomes desperate. How does it get rid of these toxins?
At least the listener would like to know these 5 excretory organs you're talking about.
We have the skin, we have the liver, we have the kidney, we have the colon, and the 5th one,
which are all going to be clogged.
Once they are clogged by the toxins, they become inactive. So the body becomes very desperate. And it creates a garbage can. A garbage can for collecting the toxins in the body. So all the toxins will be deposited there. The body creates this in the weakest part of your body. So this is what develops into tumor. By the time you are diagnosed with the cancer, it has taken more than 10 years in your body, building up slowly. So we have soft cancers and then the tumors. The soft ones are when the cancer cells grow wild. But the tumors is that correction of toxins in your body. And so we need to take proper care of this body by giving it the right fuel. Let's give it the right fuel as God had designed it. And how do we do that? By ensuring that the pH of your blood is alkaline. And the only diet that can make the pH of your blood alkaline is the natural diet.
The viewer would like to know something about the pH, because they are listening. They may not understand the pH a little bit. Just explain it a little bit so that that viewer, I believe they are writing, they're taking notes right now. They may know when you talk about the pH, bring it down or bring it high. What does it mean?
Okay, I may not have time to explain that because of time, but I'm saying, for example, farmers, when you really want to have a good crop in your farm, you look for agricultural officers, they take a sample of your soil, and they go and test the pH of your soil.
Yes.
If it is acidic, too much acidic, they tell you what to do so that you can bring it to alkaline.
So there's some food you can take, you can eat in the body that are going to make your body more acidic.
Yes.
And when the body is more acidic, it is very dangerous for the cell.
Yes. So when we take the original diet, Genesis 1:29, Ezekiel 4 verse 9, that diet will maintain your blood level in alkaline situation. When we take refined foods, processed foods, sugars, even meat, uric acid, all that will make our blood to become toxic or acidic, the pH of the blood to become acidic.
Just to cut you short a little bit,
Yeah.
so they would like to know, because right now, as the viewer listens, as they take note right now, they would like to know this refined food, these whatever, what are they?
Refined foods, I'm talking about ugali ya jogoo.
Ugali and jogoo.
Let's go back to the original ugali. I'm talking about white rice, white bread, anything that has been removed, the fiber has been removed.
The fiber,
Yes.
fiber. So the key thing here is the fiber has been removed.
Yes. So we need foods with high fiber content in our bodies. Original, whole grain, the way God gave it to man. If we can go back to that, instead of white bread, let's go back to doma, guashe,
Those original.
those original foods.
It's very, very important, viewer. As we continue talking, it's very much important to understand when we talk about refined foods, she's saying there's no fiber. Fiber is very important in the body because for one thing I know, there's a bit I know about the fiber. This fiber helps so much because it takes with it the cholesterol before it goes to the liver. Because when the cholesterol goes to the liver, again, when it goes to our vessels, it destroys them. And again, I also know that as in the process of refining this food, one thing that is going to happen is that most nutrients, especially the B's, the B's vitamins that enables your diet to be accessed to the cell are going to be removed. So what happens is that you are going to eat your food, but your food will not get to its destination.
Yes.
Once it doesn't get to its destination, the body does not throw it. It just converts it into fat. And then we grow fat and fat and fat, and it is very dangerous. So let's continue.
Yes, and also saturated fats. We should be very, very cautious.
Saturated fat.
Yes. Recently, I discovered somebody in Nyeri. He has come up with very good oils for our use.
Yes.
We have this canola oil.
Canola oil.
This is from, you know, that sukuma wiki that has yellow flowers from the seeds of a sukuma wiki. Canola oil. And it has omega-3, omega-6, and omega-9. Yeah. It's good for drinking. It's good for cooking.
Can I drink it like a soft drink, or how much should I drink? And if the viewer want to buy this, are they available?
I think he is now introducing them into the supermarkets. And if you still have my contact, I can still direct you there.
Yes.
He has also made the oil from peanut. Jugu karanga. This is oil, peanut oil. And it's also very good. We have
with what you call unsaturated fat.
Yes.
She talked about saturated fat. These are fat without a double bond. These are fat when you take a lot of them. When they get into your body vessels, they are going to create a lot of problems. They are going to create a lot of cholesterol.
Yeah.
And
we have soya oil.
Soya oil.
Yeah.
Okay. It's also good.
It's also good.
It also has omega-3,
Yeah.
omega-6, and omega-9.
No, soya oil doesn't have those omegas. Yeah.
It doesn't.
We also have, we can also use sunflower oil. And sunflower has a lot of magnesium. So soya oil, olive oil, canola oil, those vegetable oils, pure vegetable oils, they are good for our health. So everything is about what we eat. And so I'm saying health
is
not everything. But without it, everything is nothing. Health is not everything. But without health, everything is nothing. So my prayer is, let's maintain our health.
Thank you.
My call to the national government, to the local government, the governor,
County government.
Yeah, county government.
Yeah.
Let's sensitize our people.
Thank you.
So that we can maintain good health by eating well, so that we can prevent many of the diseases, of the Egyptian diseases. And remember, we said the Egyptian diseases were all types of cancers, cardiovascular diseases, arthritis, diabetes, malaria, all lifestyle diseases. We can be able to do away with them by changing our lifestyles.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And again, we say thank you for accepting to be our guest. You've really been of much help to us. And one thing I'm understanding is that most of the things that bedevils mankind are things that we can easily tackle. And God has given a clear, God has given us the direction. So what we just need to do is to head to the direction that God has given. We go back to the basics. And if this one is going to cut, like she told us last time, the diseases like diabetes, like hypertension, over 70% comes to us because of the lifestyle. So if we were able to deal with over 80%, so 20% is not going to be a major thing. It's going to be very easy.
Yeah.
So it is very, very important. We take heed of this. We will continue. We'll call you again and again and again because you've been of much help to us. Viewer, again, I want to say thank you so much for tuning in to Pillar TV. This is a TV station that endeavors to help you. And we love you so much. We would like you to have a good health. We know you are very important because you're God's temple and the Holy Spirit of God lives in you. If you have ill health, it is not going to help. Again, I said I'm Pastor Abraham Gige. I'm the host of this program, and I'm very much grateful that you are calling us, you are testing us many times, and you're telling us how good it is. If you have any question related to all the things that we are talking, there's this number down there. You can always text to us, and in the next programs, we shall endeavor to answer most of your problems. So God bless you so much as you keep practicing what you learned. God bless you so much.